good morning, everybody. Is it still morning? Just barely. For some of you, it's not. Welcome, welcome. Glad to see you, some of you guys coming in. I'm just here to interact with some of you guys, just chit chat a little bit, pull some tarot cards, see what kind of trouble we get into real quick. Probably not going to be sticking around too long. I am nursing a little bit of a sore throat, so we're not going to press our luck too much. Actually, I'm going to put in a cough drop right now. First thing that we're going to look at while I wait for some of you to get in the room is going to be what's our best manifesting advice for today. So, whatever it is that we would like to manifest today, be thinking about that as I'm shuffling. This is going to be applicable to those who are in the live stream right now and also those who stumble across it later. Either way, what would you like to manifest today? As I'm shuffling, be thinking about that. Sacred Spirit has this wonderful way of being able to help us with questions and answers across time. So even if you're not live right now, this may still apply. Let's see what our best advice is. Those of you who are entering the room, feel free to say hi. Let me know that you're here. I like to have the interactions. That's the whole point of going live, is to have these interactions. All right, so best manifestation advice today starts with the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. All right. That is followed by the Three of Swords. Very interesting. We might have some stuff going on in the Page of Wands. Okay, ending with the Page of Wands. So we've got a couple of kind of heavier cards followed with a good one. At least a little bit of a more encouraging one. So let's see what this means when I put them all together. Let's look at what this sentence basically is saying. This is interesting. So what we're looking at to manifest what we want to today is we're looking at a bounce back, basically. With the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, this is we're feeling like we don't really have all the resources we need to create what we want to create today. Three of Swords says we could be taking that kind of hard. That's a very emotional reaction. Hello there, hello there. Glad to see you. So, very emotional reaction to this idea that we don't have as much as what we would like to have, all right, with that Three of Swords. Now, the reason I say that this is a bounce back for our manifestation is because we have a Page of Wands showing up here. Okay. So for this Page of Wands, I feel like to manifest what we want to manifest, it's important to recognize where the situation is financially or resource wise, but we don't want to mope. Like we want to recognize this is not going to cut it. This is not going to get the job done. And then we want to start talking to other people. We want to start networking. We want to start getting feedback and input from other people. Are there other people out there who would be willing to help change that financial situation because they believe in what we're trying to manifest today? So, communication, but with that Page of Wands, it's a very specific type of communication. It's a type of communication that when you're communicating, you're helping somebody else see your vision. You're helping somebody else feel what your dream would feel like and really come on board with you. So, this is basically saying right now, you're feeling a little heartbroken because you don't have everything you need to manifest what you want. And Spirit's saying, but you're not the only person on this planet. There are other people out here who could help you, but you have to let them know. You have to help them see the vision and get excited about this so that they actually volunteer to help you. Okay. So that's what we have so far. Hello there, Gracie, Gracie, Gracie. Welcome back. We're just doing a short chat session today, guys. I've been fighting a little bit with laryngitis, so I'm not going to be pushing it too hard with my throat. I don't want to get it all torn up again because I want to be able to actually do readings. But I figured I'd come in and say hi. Who would like to have me look at a message from Spirit for them? I'm going to pick a number between 1 and 3. and I'm writing it down right now. Whoever guesses that number first and puts it in the comments, that'll be the person that I read for next. So pick a number between 1 and 3. 3 is not it. Try again. You don't have to give up just because you didn't get it the first time. With such a short window, it shouldn't take too many guesses. 2. Okay, so I'm not exactly sure how to say your name. Tiawina? Tiawana? Tiawina? Tiawina? Tiawina got it because she got 2 in the chat before you, Gracie. I apologize. But you guys know how I roll, so be on the look for piggyback messages. All right, so I hope I'm saying that right. Let's look at so Tijuana. Actually, I need to ask you, do you have a question for me to answer, or do you just want me to see what Spirit wants to talk to you about? So if you have a question, put that in the chat. If you want to know what Spirit has to say, then just put in message from Spirit. I'm sorry if my cough drop is really loud on the microphone, guys. I apologize. Oh, Tiffany. Okay. Awesome. And thank you on the amazing. That's cool. Let's see. Just do my thing. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. I like that. That's funny. Somebody came to me for a reading earlier this week and they did an hour-long reading. And after 40 minutes, the guy was like, well, I've asked all my questions. Now you're in charge. What do you want to look at? So I just did my thing there too. Luckily, I'm a curious person. Maybe some people would call that nosy. Either way, I can always come up with questions. Why, welcome, Ms. Gracie. I'm glad you're here. Guys, oh yeah, guys, try to share this video out to other people so that trying to build my subscriber base here on this channel. Let's see what we have, Miss Tiffany. Okay, so what Spirit wants to talk to you about is being represented by the Death card first. We all know I would never call a card death. It's always really about major transitions. But very rarely is it actually about a person's death or even a pet's death. People get all Twitter-pated about that. Very poor choice in name for a card. And then we have the Ace of Pentacles. All right, so we've got a lot of Pluto energy, and Pluto energy is that energy that talks about major transformations. Like we might just tear everything down to the bare bones and then redo completely. That's kind of that Pluto energy, which is represented by the Death card. The Death card actually is also the card for Scorpios because we're ruled by Pluto. So, we make changes, we make ourselves over several times during our life. So when we have this type of card show up that talks about those kind of transformations, this is a big transformation that we're looking at for you, Tiffany. And it's one that starts with your perspective about things. You're looking at something very differently, which is changing how you react to that thing. And as it changes how you react to that thing, then that changes how the universe reacts back to what you're doing. So it really creates this whole chain reaction where things start to change. Okay. So it could go with eclipse energy, but usually not. Usually this is more of a slower type of metamorphosis. It's a deep metamorphosis, but usually it's not like the hammer on the head type of change. Okay. Usually it's one that takes a while to run through and to work through. All right. Now, with the Ace of Pentacles, this is interesting because this talks about receiving a gift. So when we have this deep, where's my card? My deep metamorphosis covered by receiving a gift. That tells me a couple things. That says, first of all, this deep metamorphosis is good. It's good for you. It's healthy. It puts you in a better place than where you were before, which I would already read off of my transformation card. I've got my camera backwards too, what it looks like. So that's why you see me grabbing the wrong card first. But so first of all, it's a gift, which we already know that really with a transformation card anyway. But the other thing that it tells me is that this is changing how you receive your perspective about receiving things, receiving information, receiving material goods. Your perspective around receiving is changing at a very deep level, and that is changing things around you, how the world reacts to you, how the universe reacts to you, how people respond to you. So your change is triggering other changes. So this is a change in how you receive. We know it's a good change, it's a healthy change. You're receiving things graciously now, I'm guessing. Maybe before you didn't know how to receive at all and you just wouldn't. Now you're learning how to receive and how to recognize that, you know, how's that song go? Sometimes you're the windshield, sometimes you're the bug, sometimes you need to receive, sometimes you're able to give. And it's okay to have times when you need to receive. So you're really mastering receiving, or at least you're improving. Maybe you're not mastering right now, maybe you are, but you're at least improving in your receiving. Okay? Now, let's look at the next part of this. Best advice or heads up around this transformation that you're making. Lovely. So we start off with the moon. The moon talks about things that we don't know, things that are going on behind the scenes, information that hasn't come out yet. We may recognize there's a rat in the woodpile, but we sure can't find that rat. All right, there's some missing information, and we kind of know that. We're just having a hard time putting our fingers on what that information actually is. Okay, now, Four of Swords, taking a break, chilling, stepping back, looking at things more objectively. Okay, so this is taking feeling out of a situation and looking at something really objectively. Okay, so we've got some kind of missing information. We're looking at the situation in a much more objective way than what we used to. All right, so around this transformation about receiving, there may have been missing information, information that we did not understand or that nobody said to us before that, we just did not have at our fingertips. Okay. So for that missing information, we're taking a break. We're not stressing about it. We're just getting really objective. We're trying to take the emotions or the triggers out of the idea of receiving. We're trying to get objective about it so that we can understand these things that maybe were never taught to us before about receiving. Okay. Yep. I understand. I used to always be the giver too. Spent some decades like that. I'm a slow learner. All right, now your last card coming up here. Knight of Cups. You looking at this very objectively and looking for I'm going to say allowing that information to come up as you look at this objectively, as you de-trigger receiving, because for a lot of us that do give and give and give, and we're always the giver, receiving can be a trigger to us. We may judge ourselves because we have this standard, and our standard is we're always the strong one, we're always the generous one, we're always the abundant one, we're always the one that can help. And so if we feel like that, then we may feel like if we have to receive, now are we not strong? Now are we selfish? Are we not generous? Now we're not the giver, we're the receiver. What on earth? You know? There's a lot of connotations with people who receive. They're greedy, they're scamming, blah, 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 blah. There's a lot of stuff out there that can have become a trigger in us that keeps us from receiving. Okay? So this card is saying that for you to get objective and deactivate these triggers is part of self care. It's part of self care. Okay? And we're going to have a little bit of a teaching, I guess. The spread has inspired me. I think we need to have a teaching on giving and receiving because a lot of the type of people that come to my videos are very empathic and we like to give, we like to help, we like to support, but sometimes we miss the point of receiving. Okay. So a lot of us know the more we give, the more the universe looks out for us. The more we're looking out for other people, the more the universe looks out for us. We've recognized that. We've been taught that, whether we were taught that in church or whether we were taught that some other place in our lives, we know that there are rewards for being the generous one, the one that's giving. Okay. Now, you have to look at both sides of that coin because for you to give, somebody has to receive. All right. So the receiver definitely gets the blessing, but the giver also gets a blessing. The giver gets a blessing that comes in from the universe to us. It's not coming in from the receiver. Normally, it's not, unless it's at a different time frame. So if you recognize that you get blessed by blessing other people, then when somebody is giving to us, we also have to recognize that if we don't receive that, then we are taking away someone else's opportunity to be blessed by the universe. That's kind of selfish and that's kind of mean. So it's important if somebody wants to give something to us, it's important for us to receive that and receive that graciously, knowing that that other person is going to be blessed because they did something nice for us, just like we were always blessed in the past when we were nice to other people. Okay? That's just how the universe works. The person we gave to probably couldn't bless us, but somebody did. We need to allow other people to get their blessings too. They have to be able to sow the seed. And most people, when they give, they're not giving because they need a blessing, but it still allows them to create that karma. And who are we to take away their opportunity to create that karma? Okay. I used to never let anybody give me anything. And one day, I had a lady who wanted to give me a ring. In fact, she wanted to give me which finger? This ring right here, this labradorite ring, which is beautiful. It's nice. And it was one of my favorites, actually, in the cabinet at one of the stores that I do readings at. And I knew she wasn't in a really great place. Like she was for the moment, but it was just for the moment, you know? And so when she bought this ring, I didn't know that she bought it. And I certainly had no idea she had bought it intending to give it to me. And she waited. I had a couple of readings back to back at that store, and she waited in the store until I was done doing readings for a couple of people. And then she came up to me, and I had told her as we were looking at rings for her, and I said, "That's a really gorgeous one right there in that case. And here's what that labradorite will do for you," thinking that she was looking for a ring for herself. So she knew that I really liked it. So she bought it for me, waited for me to come out of readings, and then presented it to me. And guys, I just about choked. I almost told her, "Mm-mm, I can't receive that. Don't do that. Don't do that." And she just kind of insisted. Like I told her no probably 2 or 3 times. And then finally, Spirit was like trying to pound me on the head with a 2 by 4 to get my attention because I was so lost in my trigger of, oh my God, what is she going to do when she needs this money for something else? Because she wasn't really well off or anything. And then Spirit was like, are you going to deprive her of her blessing? This woman is a woman who needs a blessing. Are you going to pull that opportunity away from her? And when I heard that, I was like, oh, okay, I get it. I was on the wrong path. And so I then switched up my tune and very graciously received the ring and, really let her know how much I appreciate it because she didn't have to. And it was my favorite ring in the whole darn case. And so I still wear this ring just about every day. I have never seen that lady again. I don't know what turned out, but I did pray that she would be extra blessed from that. And I'm sure that she was. But that was like the day when I really had to just be like, okay, I know this. Why am I not acting on it? So it's important to be able to receive, guys. Important for us and important for other people. Balance. Everything has to be balanced. Yep. Became even more beautiful. All right, guys. So that's what I have for today. I'm going to get off of here. It's been about 20 minutes, and I want to make sure I don't just lose my voice completely because if anyone wants a reading, I need to be available for them. But I am glad that you guys are here. And Tiffany, I am glad that you are having your transformation in receiving and how you receive, because that's a big deal. It's a life changer. Everyone have a fantastic day. Peace.